Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, I Want You Fired Because Your Voice Isn't Ladylike Enough. Cast, me equals me. K equals the voice police. M equals my mum. E equals a really nice employee who I hope is doing well. C equals the child. Alright, to preface this, I'm not at a legal age to get a job, but apparently to this lady I look like I am. Also, I have a deepish scratchy voice. I was at a store with my mother because she wanted wine and cigarettes, so I was just walking around for a bit until I spotted C trying to reach something. I walked over to her and said, "Hi, do you need help?" Trying to make my voice a little higher and sweeter as to not freak the kid out. C said, "I can't get her the card." I grabbed the card for her and gave it to her, then turned around to leave when K enters the aisle. C says thank you while I'm walking away, and without think I just said, "You're welcome," in my normal deep, apparently boyish voice. K walked up to me and said, "Excuse me, did you help my daughter with something?" She didn't say it in a rude way, so I just said, "Yes ma'am," and figured that was it until she grabbed my shoulder while I was again just trying to get back to my mum. I said, "Can I help you?" And she asked what part of the store had frozen food. I told her and pointed her in the direction and again tried to leave. She grabbed my arm and waved down. Walked over and asked what the problem is, and Kay said, "Your co-worker is scaring me and my child with her voice." I was shocked because I never thought this would happen and just asked, "How am I scaring you?" E said, "I'm sorry ma'am, but she doesn't work here." Kay started raising her voice, "Yes she does. She helped me and my daughter, so obviously she does work here." I again told her I don't and to let go of my arm. She refuses and starts yelling. E tells her if she doesn't let go of my arm then he will call security. She lets go and demands, "Fire this girl now." Speaking like that to a paying customer is disrespectful. E again calmly tried to tell this woman, "I am not an employee." I give E a look of, "Can I leave now?" And he nods, so I left to find my mum. The next story is titled, My Work Habit Made for an Innocent I Don't Work Here Lady. So I went to a local store to find some hair dye after work. I was wearing my work clothes. I work as a carpenter, so black carpenter pants with tools in my pockets and a black t-shirt with the company logo. I saw none in the shelf and was about to walk out when I saw a box of the hair dye I wanted in the bottom of a really messy box with hair dyes for sale. The box was small and messy, so I had to take almost all the other boxes out to reach the one I wanted at the bottom. Now, I used to work in retail, so I don't like messy boxes, and I had time on my hands, so almost as a reflex, when I put all the other hair dyes back, I started to sort them and put them back neatly. This is when a lady came up to me and asked me where the band-aids were. I looked up, realized she was talking to me, and I apologized and said I didn't work here. She said, "Oh, sorry, I just assumed since you were stocking merchandise that you worked here." Again, I apologized for the misunderstanding and explained what was going on. That I needed the hair dye at the bottom, and just sorted stuff when I anyway needed to put things back. She said that she thought my work clothes were weird for being in retail, looked at me as I had a third eye on my forehead and shuffled away. Not the entitled Karen everybody was hoping for, but still kind of funny for me. The next story is titled, Oyster Card at Game. Back when the 3DS was one of the best things you could have, I was at Game Shop in the UK, looking around for stuff. I saw the 3DS demo displays and saw that Four Swords Anniversary Edition was installed on one of them, so I went and tried with my own one for solo multiplayer. I was only a tall, but young teen at the time. Possibly around 13 to 14, before LEGO Dimensions was even a thing. I was also wearing a dark blue shirt with my Oyster card in a bootleg Angry Birds lanyard, whilst the game employees wore brightish purple shirts with standard lanyards with employee cards. About 2-3 parents with their kids walked up to me and asked about games they were looking for. I just replied that I didn't work there and they left with no hassle. Pretty much my first instance of I don't work here lady, but thankfully there wasn't any aggression. There was that other time some years later I think where an old guy possibly thought I was someone important at a Budgeons due to my blazer-based school uniform and shouted if I knew how much a bag was, but that ended very quickly without any trouble. Since then, I haven't run into any trouble because of my height. The next story is titled, I Don't Work at Kohl's, Mr. This happened when I was a freshman in college. It was summer, so I was dressed in shorts and a tank top. My dad was shopping for an interview, so I offered to help him pick out some new looks at Kohl's. He wandered off to find pants, while I was alone picking out shirts and ties. Cue random guy approaching me and asking me a question about if we carry his size. It hadn't hit me yet that he thought I was a store associate. I mean, after all, I was not dressed like a store associate, didn't have a name tag, and instead of placing items on shelves, I was pulling out different shirts. He kept following me around, as if he expected his mere presence would suddenly make the knowledge he required come to me. Finally I said, I don't work here, find someone who does, and he got angry. How dare I lie to him? Thankfully my dad picked that moment to find me, and crazy, entitled guy skulked off to hopefully not berate a random store associate who is paid too little to deal with that. The next story is titled, We All Are Working Here But Not Works Here. I currently work as a commercial electrician, and our company is the go-to for Aldi when it comes to remodels of their stores. A majority of the remodels are extensions on the existing building, so for the first month or so we work in the new area while the store is open with a temporary wall separating us. Customers get used to seeing construction going on while still being able to shop. Signs are regularly posted informing the customers when the store will be shut down, and several days before many of the Aldi employees inform them of the store's temporary closure. So shutdown happens and there are many more trades all working there at the same time. Heavy equipment is brought in, i.e. cranes, forklifts, boom lifts, cement trucks, etc. It is obviously an active construction site, and most of the time fencing is placed around the building and more signs are posted the store is closed and to keep out. Yet all this does little to stop the swarms of zombie customers still trying to come inside and shop. They move the gate to drive in, squeeze between the fence, step over construction materials, ignore the shouts of the construction workers, all to enter the building and be confused as to why the shelves, or lack thereof, are bare and they can't get the Aldi deal on quinoa. Now to the good part. We are 3 to 4 weeks into shutdown, and the typical sights, sounds, and smells of construction can be heard emanating from the building. Enters an oblivious Karen. She's walked through all the aforementioned obstructions, ignored the signs, toned out the plumber who told her the store is closed, and is just standing several yards inside the store. Seeing the confusion on her face, I tell her the store is closed, but she fails to hear me. I walk closer as she is about to be standing underneath a welder with molten slag falling from the ceiling. I reiterate the store is closed, but the sights of 40 guys all doing different types of labor has clouded her mind. She then sees me and asks, "Are you still open?" Fed up with this woman's ineptitude, I call upon my skills of being a combat veteran who has learned to yell with a voice so booming that God himself would tell me to, "STFU, I can hear you up here. I don't work here, but the store is closed. You need to leave now." Even with my message being so loud and clear that workers in the back of the store stop and look at the commotion, the simple Karen still can't get the message. All she has heard is, "I don't work here," and continues her trek further into the store. I now come face to face with her, as there have been instances of people trying to come on active construction projects to get injured and sue the company in charge. Being the simple mammal she is, Karen is stunned that her pilgrimage is being blocked by me and asks, "Can I just get a few things?" My mind locked up tighter than a safe at Fort Knox. My brain plays the Windows XP sound as I take a second for it to reboot. I gesture towards the empty and demoed shelves and ask her what is she going to buy. My point-blank blast of sarcasm is too little to pierce the veil of stupidity of this Karen, who takes the sweeping gesture as an invitation to be my guest and tries to continue the perilous journey in search of sustenance. Finally, reinforcements have arrived as the general contractor approaches and physically walks her out, telling her the store is closed and she needs to leave before she is hurt or the police are called. It finally ends as the Karen concedes with a final retort of, "Well, I never." The next story is titled, Do I Just Look Like I Work Everywhere? I'm not sure if I just give off a customer service vibe or what. I've been a biology student or biologist for almost 15 years, customer service jobs for about 10 before that, but I get mistaken for an employee all the time. Today was Lowe's across the garden section as I looked at pots, yelling, "Sir. Hey sir. Do you work here?" 2 weeks ago, it was my small town hardware store. Where are the list of plumbing supplies? I get it at plant nurseries, pet stores, pretty much service jobs where you can kind of dress down. I'm never dressed in a smock or just generic colors and khakis. Just t-shirt and shorts, usually. This has seriously happened my whole life in multiple cities. No freakouts or anything, just the constant specter of employment in place. There must be a French or German word that doesn't translate well for customer service vibes. The next story is titled, Not Store Security but I'll Help Out. I work for an unarmed security company. Complete with uniform and badge. We aren't allowed to have weapons but can defend ourselves or detain people for the police. I'm not one for confrontation, but I am a large, scary-looking guy. I'm over 6 feet and I look like a former linebacker. Usually, if I stop at the store after work, I take off my uniform shirt, but that day was chilly and my undershirt is pretty thin. So, I wore it into the store. I wasn't planning on buying anything, just checking prices for a birthday gift for my wife, so I didn't have a cart or basket. I notice a young woman, early 20s or younger I would guess. I never asked, come into my aisle. She looks scared and is looking around, kind of panicked. She sees me and makes a beeline for me. She says, hey, can you walk me to my car? Some creepy guy is following me. Now, this isn't the first time I've gotten this request and I absolutely never say no if a woman comes to me with a request like this. So, I say yes and we start heading to the front of the store. Halfway there, this guy pops out in front of and starts talking to her, saying that she forgot to give him her number. I step between them and tell him that she does not appreciate him following her and that he will be removed from the store if he persists. Obviously I don't work there, but he doesn't know that. He responds that is his girlfriend and that they are just having a little fight. She is shaking her head with every word he speaks. I tell him it's time for him to leave and he flips out and starts screaming at me. It takes all of 10 seconds for a bunch of people to notice, including one employee who pulls out a radio and starts talking to someone. As this guy yells at me, I keep myself firmly between him and the woman and repeat that he needs to leave in a calm voice. I figured that a manager would be by soon enough, so I wasn't overly worried. And sure enough, a manager and some of the actual store security, they have store logos on polos and look nothing like my uniform. They ended up restraining him as he kept alternating between screaming and cursing at me and the employees and begging the young woman to just tell them he is her boyfriend. I overheard while she was talking to store security that she had never met the guy before. I explained that I was just shopping and didn't work there as I walked her to her car, and we had a good laugh over that misunderstanding. She was very grateful that I helped regardless. The next story is titled, I used to work here, but not anymore. So, this is a story from 2014 when I was a leasing agent working at an apartment complex. First, some backstory. I happened to work where I lived, and while this may sound convenient, and I guess it wasn't when neighbors realized who I was. It was common for neighbors, one in particular, to knock on my door and demand I fix something or that I take care of something for them, anywhere from fixing their AC to lowering their rent. I'd explain that I'm just a leasing agent, I can't fix crap and have no authority whatsoever. And while I have endless stories of people's stupidity, I was rarely able to do anything other than smile and nod and kiss their feet. Eventually, it came to pass that I stopped working there and just became a regular resident of that godforsaken place. Which meant I no longer had to be nice. I got to be honest, I was excited, ducking elated at the prospect of my dipcrap neighbor knocking on my door late in the evening. I could not wait to tell her to go duck herself. Sure enough, one day, about a month or so after I was done working there, I get an aggressive knock on the door and I actually was giddy but also angry at the same time. I had 2 years worth of leasing agent aggression to get out. Anyway, here's how it went. Dumbass neighbor, excuse me, I put in a work order for my fridge a month ago, it's making a noise and you need to fix it right now because I can't sleep with that terrible noise. Me, joyous at the prospect of her setting herself up so perfectly, is that so? Well, again, I cannot fix it, you'll have to call the office tomorrow. In the meantime, how can you hear the fridge over your own bullcrap? DN, excuse me? I'll have you fired for speaking to me like that, how dare you? Quote. Me, good luck a hole, I don't work there anymore. And for the 1000th time, when I'm not at the office I can't do jack crap to help you because I'm just a goddamn leasing agent who doesn't fix crap, doesn't have the power to change your rent, and most importantly doesn't give two craps about your fridge being loud when you are the one being obnoxious, so shut the duck up, and leave me alone. DN, red and flustered, she'd tried to cut me off, but I just got louder, well I'm definitely calling your boss and having you fired, I can't believe this. She stormed off upstairs. She lived above me and I heard stomping around and slamming. Bear in mind, she'd been a total dick to me every time she came over. The others who bothered me at least were nice when I explained to them why I couldn't help. She was always loud, obnoxious, and an absolute prick when she'd come to bug me. So anyway, I get a call from my old boss the next day, which was wonderful cause at first she was like, "So I heard from dumbass neighbor that you used some inappropriate language and were rude to her?" That's snicker unacceptable. She just busted out laughing. This neighbor was constantly causing ruckus, making complaints, being a dick to all the staff, and my old boss was just happy for me, saying, "God, I'm jealous. You have no idea how much I want to do that to people, but we just have to ducking smile and take it." What was it like? So yeah, we had a laugh about it. That was a nice aftermath to that, and that lady moved out later that year, and I did the following year. I hope you enjoying reading that as much as I enjoyed living it, and if you know of a good sub to share leasing agent stories, please let me know, cause I've got some real doozies. For example, the time a resident asked me to take pictures of him for OkCupid. Thanks. The next story is titled, I Don't Work Here. Here is my home, that I own, that I am working on. A few years ago, I was a sweet summer child freshly out of college with zero idea what I wanted to do with my life. I was a homeowner after maternal unit moved overseas and gave the house to me, and I decided to work for a house painting company for one summer while I got my metaphorical ducks in a row. The next summer, I was out of the painting business and working as an EMT, which meant sometimes I would have a full day or two offs, 24 on, 48 off. I noticed my house was in some need of paint touch-ups, so I decided to do them myself. I had brushes, paint, nothing to do, and some beer, so I went at it one Tuesday afternoon. So I'm working on the frame of the front door, dressed in old painter whites and a t-shirt with the sleeves cut off, and I sit down to let the primer dry and have a beer. I'm happily perched on the front step when I notice a "Can I speak to your manager" haircut with a face that looks like she just ate 12 lemons staring at me from the sidewalk. My front lawn is decently long and slopes down a hill, but I could see an artery pulsing in her neck from my spot. She had a dog next to her, so I just wave and say, "Cute dog." I guess my words broke the floodgates, and she unleashed upon me a verbal assault of which I understood about 30%. The gist: "How dare you drink on the job on this nice property? You don't deserve to sit there and waste the hard-earned money of the well-educated person that owns this place." While I'm pondering this, she's still spewing frothing condescension at me, which culminated in "uneducated, lazy, menial, freeloading, immigrant drunks like you are what is wrong with this country." Well, I'm white. Like, really white. Blonde hair, green eyes. Born and raised in the good old US of A, specifically, in this house. Perhaps I look like some sort of insidious immigrant from far away, so I stand up and make my way down to her, but not before cracking open another beer. She's positively quivering with anger and indignation. Her dog is pulling at the leash to say hi to me, and so I bend down to say hello back, when she says, "Well, what do you have to say for yourself?" I raise myself to my full 6 feet 2 inches height, which towers over her little 5 feet nothing self. She doesn't back down, and the following conversation ensues. Me: "Hello ma'am, what seems to be the problem?" Her: "Scoffs, you. Sitting there wasting the homeowner's money so you can get paid to be a lazy drunk." Me: "Oh, I'm being paid? Seems odd. I didn't feel the need to pay myself for this, but I suppose that could be fun to try." Her: "Gears turning, pay yourself? Don't make me laugh. Some deadbeat like you couldn't afford this house. You need an education for a real job." I'm wondering what her education fixation is all about, but not caring all that much. I just want to entertain her conversation enough to really get her mad. Maybe her head will explode. Me: "Well, I didn't buy this house, my mother did, but she left it to me when she moved overseas after I graduated from college." Her: smirking: "Oh, did you go to local community college, known for not being that great? Only someone working as a painter would go there." Me: "Actually, if you look at my shirt, you'll see it says Ivy League School Athletics, which is where I attended school and played a sport. I am in good shape because of that, so I figured I would keep that up by working on improving my own home while having a few beers to cool off in this heat." Did you attend community college? Because if so, I can see how you might not be able to understand that. Disclaimer: nothing wrong with that CC, it's where I got my EMT license. Just wanted to watch her boil, and oh boy did she. Her eyes widen bigger than I thought possible, and her mouth starts working like elderly folks do when they've lost a lot of teeth, lots of lip twisting. This culminates in her reading her ugly head back and spitting on the front of my shirt. You probably stole that from someone, you ungrateful piece of crap. Okay, wow, not sure what I'm ungrateful for, and ooh germs, so I tell her it's been fun but I'm going to continue working and turn to walk back up the lawn. She grabs the back of my shirt and attempts to pull me backwards, doesn't work, so I spin around and smack her hand off me. She flops like a Premier League soccer player, flinging herself all over my lawn, howling like she's been shot. She's let go of the dog's leash, so he comes over to me for pets, happy as a clam. Her yodeling has brought some neighbors out of their homes, including my cool next door ones. They come over and I give them the story and ask for their phone to call the cops. Mine was inside charging. They laugh and hand it over. I let the cops know that some coot canoe is gyrating loudly on my lawn, could they please come remove her? I return to my work. My cool neighbors probably have started making popcorn. A little while later, I hear the cops arrive. Crazy is still singing her ducked-up opera, and starts screaming at the cops a story of a belligerently drunk squatter, whose painting said side of squatting, who chased her with a baseball bat and broke her arm in multiple places. Her talons point to me, so I come down and tell the cops the whole story. They crack up. Apparently, they know the nutcase by name, and so they tell her to call her husband to get the dog again, and cuff her for trespassing and disorderly conduct. Dog hung out with me until the husband, apologizing profusely, came and got him. He also informed me that they are in divorce proceedings, so that may have made her crazier than usual. Never saw the lady again, thank God, but have developed a neighborly friendship with her ex and the pup. All's well that ends well. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comment.